Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's AMA with DeFi Kingdoms. We will have Dreamer joining us as well here shortly, but in the meantime, we can go ahead and get started. The most pressing question of the day. Hubert, how are you doing?
Hey, Bolin. I'm doing okay. Things are all right. The weather is getting warm. Blossoms are blooming on trees. How are you doing?
I am doing all right, but having the opposite. The weather, we got a cold snap, and from Monday to Tuesday lost almost 30 degrees. And it was pretty cold for Florida at any time of the year, but definitely in March, cold for Florida. So it's still actually in the mid 60s here right now, which is very, very odd for Florida in March. It's usually in the mid 80s. So, I'm kind of enjoying it, if I'm being honest. It's nice to not be so hot, but it is a bit weird.
Not to butt in, but it is 70 degrees and sunny in Salt Lake City today.
It is warmer there than it is here.
That don't check out. I don't know what that's about. But I'm not mad about it, dude. It's really nice out there. I've mowed my lawn twice this year already. Makes no GD sense.
And we've got enough humidity and wind. Actually, it's very windy today. So our real feel is down to 57, which is weird. It's weird. But, we do what we can. So everything that started blooming is now regretting it, but it'll probably survive. I think it's only supposed to be another day or two, and then it's hot as all hell again. Yeah, Saturday. Saturday's back up to 80s. Fantastic. Can't wait. Winston, speaking of, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm hanging in there. This week I've been working on, did the leaderboard, and I think that's like pretty well baked, and it's kind of running on its own for a little bit. So I've been working on something else. I am through the building, like the prototyping phase of this tower defense game I've been working on. That is another vibey Cody boy. I just shared it there if you want to throw it. Yeah. I'm hoping towards like more or less you'll be able to trade real jewel to play, and then earn real jewel when you win, and then lose real jewel when you lose. So it's not a standard tower defense. It's got some tweaks and some stuff to it. Like you can see everything is kind of passively happening, but this is the easy mode. Oh, I'm on the wrong screen. This is the easy mode, so everything is sort of automated and just kind of works more or less. You still need to level things up and pick where stuff goes, and so these rocks are scattered around here randomly by the system, and then I picked where the trees are. So I kind of tried to build this based on the random rocks, tried to build this path to get these guys. And so they're trying to get to my portal. They're just dots right now, but there'll be something in the not too distant future.
What happens if you would put a tree there go up to the right of the stone, like 3 squares up from where you are right now?
If you make a complete wall.
Yeah, if you just build a wall.
It won't let you do that. You guys ever played these games before? It won't let you do that.
Yeah, I have. I just wasn't sure if you had thought of it.
Yeah, no, it won't let you do that. The newest thing I added to it today. Oh, it's not even in there yet. Dang. So I kind of had to get a little creative with the different skills. So, for example, we've got our gladiator strike that we know, but here, your warrior will do, basic attacks on his own, and every 9 basic attacks, he'll do a gladiator strike, and it'll be a stronger hit, and he'll get a heal from it. And he also has a kind of an interesting passive. So the warrior and the archer both have this passive, but you can place a satellite. In this case, he already has one out. This is his satellite warrior. They have less HP or something. There's supposed to be something about them that's different. They're weaker or something. It costs more to level them up. But you can do that with the archer as well. So you can have a satellite archer. So it's kind of a building on traditional. I can't believe I said traditional. Building on traditional tower defense games with kind of a twist. And so the twist is everything is automated, so you can start it, and this is a boss. Look at how fuck me, look at how big that sphere is. They get bigger for how much like health they have. So this one is enormous, so it probably has a lot. But the trick to it here is, we took him down pretty fast there, didn't we? All of these things happen on their own. It's all automated, but there's a 10-second delay after the cooldown. So if this guy hasn't gotten to use his multi-shot yet, but if you use your multi-shot here, so he'll do rapid shot again after 10 seconds, but if you're watching, you can immediately trigger it again. So you can kind of cruise around and find these guys who are sleeping on their different skills or whatever, and run them immediately. There's also a challenge mode that removes all of the automation. So they'll just do basic attacks, and then you'll have to run each of these manually. So it's kind of the hope is to make two totally different paths to play. The challenge mode is going to be much slower. Hopefully, I haven't actually looked at challenge mode in a while. Let's see what happens. Yeah, see, that's a little slower, right? Yeah. So they're much slower. And now, like, for example, the wizard here won't do any of these skills unless I do them for him. Like, I have to manually pick everything these guys do now. So yeah, two types of ways to play. You can jump back and forth very quickly. Lots of information. It's going to tell you how to play, what you're trying to do, what your goals are. A little lore and instructions here. So it's going to be, it's right around the corner from letting people play it, but it probably won't take your jewel and give you jewel for a little while longer. Just to, I just want to make sure it's really tight. Like, I don't want to take anyone's jewel. And really what I'm worried about is someone figuring out how to empty my shit out. Someone gets in there and is like, guess what? Now we're dumping your wallet. But yeah, more or less, yeah, there it is. More or less, you can see it's like, hey, if you make it to wave 5, you earn 1 jewel. You make it to 10, you earn 2. You make it to 15, you earn 5, and so on. These are all still up in the air. None of this is locked in yet. But yeah, more or less, if you like these kind of games, I really like these kind of games. So I was trying to make something that I had not played exactly before, and I may have put too much into it. So we'll see how it goes. I was trying to be really, trying to explain everything really clearly. And since it's AI, it just does whatever it does its thing, and we figure it out.
It does what you think you said.
Yeah, exactly. We figure it out together. We also, thanks for my what's the word I'm looking for here? Shameless shill of my game that's coming up here. We also have a tournament today. So folks are playing for the Deep Mall. This is the Deep Mall. This one, I've given this one away 4 or 5 times, I think. It's like whoever wins it, I just buy it back from them, and then I give it away again. And we got a pretty good system going here,
The recurring Deep Mall.
Yeah. Earn and burn. Yeah, the earn and burn is actually kind of a new thing. I don't know if we've really talked about those either, but 0 jewel to enter, and then it's tiers and gold to enter, and then the rewards are a little bit generally more than the mats cost to enter. And so we're also given some metas too to try to soften some of those gas concerns. So y'all missed this one. It's already running, but that's the kind of stuff we're doing right now. We're also doing those XP tournaments. Have you guys seen those? Bolan?
No, sorry. I wasn't sure if that question was to us or to the audience.
I'm sure the audience has seen them. They know what's going on. But yeah, we've been, so it turns out that these tournaments give really, really good experience. So every time you win, you earn a big pile. You move on to the next one, you win, you earn a big pile. If you get a buy, unfortunately, in that case, that doesn't count as a win.
No pile for you.
No pile. You get 500 or 600 experience or whatever. But if you win, even just winning 1, it jumps that 500 experience up to like 2,200 or 2,500 if you're using a pet. And yeah, if you win 3, it's like 33 or 3,400. So it's pretty lucrative as far as experience goes. So that's kind of some of the fun stuff we've been doing in the tournament universe. This one's going to start in a few minutes here. We've got some time to vote still. The hell was that? Something blooped at me. It's cool. We're good. I'm just going to keep on cruising here. I'm going to assume that wasn't the bloop of kicking me off or something.
Nope, you're good.
Great. Yeah. So lots of stuff to vote on, lots of stuff to do. I think that's pretty much it for me. I'm going up to the lake this weekend, up the mountain to Echo Reservoir, where it'll be hot. So suck on that, Olan.
I'm going to Miami this weekend, where it will also be hot. So,
isn't that one of the things that's like synonymous? No, that's Atlanta. Hotlanta is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, Hotlanta. Yeah, but I mean, Miami's also just always hot. I actually don't know what the weather down there's like right now. I don't want to know. I'm not gonna look.
I can't imagine it's always hot.
You'd be surprised. Like North Florida doesn't really get a winter. South Florida doesn't even pretend. It's summer all year round.
All right, fair enough.
Oh, good.
No, I just was saying, fair enough, man. I have not experienced that climate, so I can't. We do kind of have the same type of thing though in Utah, like southern versus northern Utah. Southern Utah is a little more Nevada-y.
It's just a desert, right?
Yeah, Nevada-y and Arizona-y, and it gets very hot there, and it kind of gets hot in northern Utah, but I think we have a more robust cold season.
Usually get like maybe a snow a year, and the snow is usually melted by the end of the day. So like as soon as it happens, you got to get out there and make some snowmen and frolic as fast as possible.
Take advantage of the opportunity.
I'm a Southern Utahite myself, so I'm very familiar with desert heat.
Speaking of going places, Hubert, you're going places.
Oh, that's true. Yes. So I will not be making it to AMAs in the next 3 weeks. I will be taking the family to our first trip since our son was born to Japan. He'll be celebrating his birthday there with his grandparents that are there. And yeah, we haven't really done any like major vacations since he was born, so it's been like 2 years of no vacationing, so finally gonna go take one. So we'll be missing you guys. I'll still be like checking messages with the team, but I'll be generally out of touch for a little while, so if you don't hear from me, that's why.
No, that's awesome though, and glad that y'all are able to do that, and you know he can go see his grandparents that I imagine he doesn't get to see a whole lot since they live in Japan, and y'all can get some maybe time to yourselves as well.
Yeah, we haven't really figured out babysitters here, so we do plan to have the grandparents watch him, and hopefully that'll work. Got to watch Project Hail Mary, which I'm so excited for that movie. And you know, if anyone hasn't watched the trailer, don't watch it. Don't watch that trailer. It spoils way too much.
I know he has a rock.
Spoilers.
Oh, my bad.
What are you doing, man?
It's right in the trailer. I mean,
don't watch, man. If you read those books, like it's so bad. That trailer is the worst. It's so bad. But anyway, he don't listen to Winston. It's gonna be a great movie. I heard it's already great. Anyway, I want to watch it, and both my wife and I really like the books. And you know, up until now, when we wanted to see a movie, we'd have to kind of go separately. To go see it. Well, one watches the kids, so first time watching a movie together in a long while. But yeah, and yeah, I'm not looking forward to the flights. It's going to be kind of, we got like 24 hours worth of traveling to do, and you know, we'll see how the kid does, but I am very
rough.
It's going to be hell, probably. Hell for us and for everyone around us. Sorry, everybody else.
Yep. But it is what it is. But no, I'm glad that y'all are able to take some time, and well earned and deserved time. So that'll be awesome.
But yes, I see one person started to watch the trailer and hadn't watched it yet. Don't, and just go watch the movie. I guarantee it's good. Even though I haven't seen it. The book is good too. I definitely recommend that book too. The audiobook is particularly well produced.
Nice.
But anyway.
No, really appreciate that. And yeah, Good Lord, I can't speak apparently. So I said at the beginning, Dreamer's going to be joining us shortly. So we aren't going to do a overall project update until then so that he can deliver it. However, I did want to go ahead and give an update on what I know is one of the questions on the top of everybody's mind, which is the Synapse bridges. So we've mentioned before, but I'll say again, we also did not know this was coming. It is also not just DFK Chain. They're doing some pretty sweeping upgrades to all of their bridges. So, it seems to have affected everyone to some degree. We were told like 2 hours ago that they are expecting everything to be done today. I will say we've heard that from them before, so take it with a little grain of salt, but it does seem that they've made a lot of progress. So for those of you that are more technically inclined, they said that the SDK is finished, but they're working on the widget, which the widget is what we use and what I think a lot of the other integrations use. So stay tuned. As soon as it's resolved, we will also be quite happy about it, and we will let you all know. But that's where we stand right now. We also didn't know it was coming, so I apologize for no notice, but we didn't have notice to give you, unfortunately. And then we did not anticipate it being out this long, which it seems like neither did Synapse, which happens. That's the joys of technology. So bear with us. It is progressing. We are also following up and staying on top of it to make sure that it is resolved as quickly as we can help it get done. But as soon as there is more news on that front, we will pass that on. With that, I'll actually go to our first question, which is about this anyway.
Whoops, sorry, let me just cut in here. I think, my bad. Thank you, though. I think Zipper's strongly worded Slack message, man. That was, I don't know. You can't repeat it in here, but he's a scary dude with that beard and then that tone. Like it's, he's a scary dude.
Doing what we
tall as me too.
He is almost as tall as you are. Yeah. The first time I met him in person, I was annoyed by how much I had to look up. But yeah, we're pushing on our side for sure.
Yeah. People in Discord were saying we should skip over the Winston. What is it? Let's see. It's hey, sorry to be a pest, like a friendly reminder, kind of like me again, just jump straight to the serious penguin.
Yeah, might work. It did yield results, but yeah. So this first question is about Synapse anyway. First off was just asking for a general update. What are we doing to address if the downtime is related to something malicious? All signs point to not. Again, this was not just related to us. It was sweeping upgrades. They have at least been communicating with us. I do wish we had known in advance, but it is what it is. But no signs that indicate that there's any kind of malicious activity happening here. And then what steps will be taken to mitigate relying on one bridge provider? So this is something that we've talked about before, both internally and I think in AMAs as well. So I'm going to answer this, I guess, in two ways. The first way is in our current state, there are also risks that are introduced by having multiple bridge providers. So essentially, when you bridge a token from its native chain to another chain, you're getting a wrapped version of that token that is provided by the bridge provider who is backing that token with the tokens in their contract. So if you have multiple bridge providers, you have multiple pools of tokens within those bridge providers, but you also have different contract addresses for the resulting tokens. So most Synapse tokens are denoted with SYN, SYN in front of them. So if we had a second bridge, it would have a second token. So that means that, for example, if you were to take Joule to Avalanche C chain to put it into LFJ, formerly known as Trader Joe, there would have to be two different pools, one for the Synapse token and one for the other bridge provider token. So it gets a little messy to have multiple bridge providers. It also introduces multiple points of failure because now something could happen to either bridge provider. So there's benefits and downsides to having multiple bridge providers. However, we've talked about the last few weeks that our current efforts are kind of centered around a consolidation of the DFK universe into a single location, in which case we become a lot less dependent on bridge providers at all, because all of our assets, all of our content, everything is on one chain. So a lot of that can also just be mitigated if these, efforts are successful. So depending on, where everything ends up going, that kind of, I think, addresses both sides, if that helps. Which I will say also on the Synapse front, I saw a comment in chat about Layer Zero. So, I mean, Layer Zero has been absolutely amazing. Their technology is incredible. What they are is an infrastructure provider. So, like the bridges that we have in game that are powered by Layer Zero, the Hero Bridge, all of our NFT bridges, we built those bridges on top of Layer Zero technology, right? So actually what Synapse is currently doing is integrating Layer Zero technology into their bridges. So once all of this is done, it will kind of be like a Synapse bridge powered by underlying Layer Zero tech, which hopefully is, going to result in a smoother process and everything. So it's actually really cool. But that also means that if we were to build our own bridge using Layer Zero technology, it would kind of be duplicated at that point. So it'll be interesting to see how everything plays out. But that is part of what Synapse is doing, is utilizing some of that Layer Zero tech, because Layer Zero built really cool stuff. Don't worry, I am also shocked when I sound smart about, well, anything. All right, so let's see. I'm gonna go a little bit out of order on questions here because I want to have some of them once Dreamer is here, which actually, good Lord, the timing on that. He just sent me a message saying that he would be joining, so we will be seeing him momentarily. Also, I think that Taco Bell and Mountain Dew actually make you smarter. They increase your brain power. But speaking of, with the most impeccable timing possible, here is Dreamer. Dreamer, real quick recap, and then we'll come over to you. But we ran through some updates, and we did talk about the Synapse bridge situation. But that is exactly where we are right now. So you had excellent timing. How are you doing, first and foremost?
I don't know, man. You said I heard brain power, and then you said speaking of. So I thought you were gonna be like, man, the biggest brain power to ever.
Also true. But you
Power
also
brain.
enjoy Taco Bell and Mountain Dew, so it ties right into my previous point that Taco Bell and Mountain Dew increase
Maybe
brain
that's a
power.
trick. Maybe that's a trick because I know it'll hurt your brain power, and now my relative brain power is now bigger by yours getting smaller through Mountain Dew consumption.
Damn, the long play.
I just drink water.
I thought you were going to say that Mountain Dew and Taco Bell makes you really smart, and then I was going to just cut in here and be like, I have known people that work at Taco Bell, and to a man, they have not been smart. So,
hang on, those are two different things.
Wait,
well, I guess I'm
Taco Bell,
saying.
did you guys talk about the new Crunchwrap guy with
No.
chickens in it?
No,
Not
we
yet,
haven't
no.
gotten there. But no, I'm just saying,
the Crunchwrap guy with chickens in it.
There is.
if you work at Taco Bell, clearly you're eating Taco Bell and drinking Mountain Dew pretty regularly.
I don't know though. I feel like if you work at Taco Bell, you can't enjoy Taco Bell. And I feel like that's the crux. Like if you work making the food all day, you're not going to enjoy eating it.
And that's what makes you smart? Like you have to enjoy it? That sounds kind of arbitrary, don't you think?
Yeah.
Couldn't you just enjoy something else?
I mean, I guess you could, but it wouldn't be as good as Taco Bell. So
that
anyway, you guys just proved my point over here. Proved it.
Yeah, we did.
But Bolin, I'm okay. Sorry, everybody, I'm late. I was on a call with our Avalanche partners. We've been talking to them a lot lately, and it's very priority. So I'm here, but that was the only time I could get them on this day. I was trying to get prior to the AMA, but so apologies for being late. I'm happy to be here. Doing okay, Bolin. And I got my jersey on.
Nice. I love those jerseys. I mean, I'll hand it over to you if you want to give an update.
Oh, sure. I can give an update. Are we starting updates now? I don't know. I feel like I'm 30 minutes late.
We're on your update.
Do a personal update. Yeah, I think that's what we're all here for.
Personal update. Hawaii got flooded very, very, very badly, and there's another storm on the way, so that's real cool. Other than that, I don't really have any other personal updates. Just work, DFK, rain and flooding. I'm not sick though, so that's cool. And I talked to some people this week, including Zealous, who's out there. Hey, Zealous. Had a good chat with him as well. Incredible community builder. And I'm excited to see these matches going right now. TuneFed is just a frequent joiner and destroyer of people in our AMA bouts. But with that, I'll go over a pretty major update. So I'm late for this call for a reason. The last couple times I've given updates, they've been more on a serious note, as we're looking at the setup that we've had across multiple chains. You know, if you've missed the other updates, I hope that you'd go back and listen to them because I can't repeat all of it. But we do believe that in this market and with all of the factors we do not control, it is in all of our best interests to consider a consolidation of sorts, even if it's just, between Sarandale and Crystal Vale. There's a lot of savings. There's a lot of ease of onboarding. There's a lot of co-marketing opportunities and growth potential in considering Sarandale and Crystal Vale coming together and finding a place to consolidate. The obvious place to do that, given our history and the current landscape and the build that we have, is not a removal from the Avalanche ecosystem, but a move to where they are currently and likely going forward the most focused, and that is their own chain, C Chain. There's a lot of Avalanche AVOX token holders that are looking at like gas use, number of transactions, wallets, utility, things to do on chain. Man, everything on DFK chain, and then especially with the additional stuff over there in Sarandale that we want to look after, it would be such a mutually beneficial thing if we could work something out there. So among all the things we're focused on and considering, that's definitely priority one. However, these things cost money. They take time. They're very disruptive. Even things like tokenomics today wouldn't really match that scenario. So in order to do that, we need to get a good plan. And that plan is not only how do we migrate, but how do we migrate and then grow from there? So we're considering things like what does co-marketing look like if there is a migration? The costs that are remaining, we don't have a chain cost, and we don't have a number of others, but we still do. And they don't have their costs because they have ongoing pretty significant costs covering DFK chain since we were, involved so early. They've honored that and supported us over time. But how do we make this kind of benefit everybody? So just got off that call. I actually feel really good about this meeting. There have been other meetings I haven't felt very good about, or other announcements like the Retro 9000 announcement where we weren't included that I did not feel very good about. However, since then, we've really tried to keep our composure and use the facts of potential contribution and everything that all of you players on DFK Chain and others have contributed to help prove why continuing to work together makes sense. The call went very well compared to others. However, nothing is a done deal. And these things take a long time. Because they take so long, and one thing we don't have is time. We have to look at our priorities. The longer time, the more things cost. And we have a finite amount of funds to support the things that cost. So we've already started to, turn off some things. But we prepared for this scenario. And since things are progressing in a positive manner, but nothing is for sure. And even if this deal to move to C chain doesn't materialize, we will look for other deals, but we don't control the time or the market that is involved in that. So we need to make additional decisions to save additional capital to make sure we have as long of a runway for DFK chain as possible. Priority number one is people's assets on the chain have to be safe, and especially the non-DFK assets need to be able to move once we identify an area to go, a direction to go, a chain to go. So in order to do that, we have prepped another wave of like turning off features. It's pretty significant, and I'm going to be handing it over to Hubert here for that. But the message today is discussions are progressing, and as of 2 minutes ago, they're progressing 10 times better than they were on my meeting on Tuesday, with some major support of people that are high up having contributed to this plan, and other things like how do we co-market and better do things that we didn't do very well with Avalanche prior. So going to events, working with their battle pass, marketing with their main channel. It was always kind of hard because we weren't on C chain. We had our own subnet, but we were also a major presence on other chains. This plan helps a lot of that come together, where we get a very eager to see numbers chain that has money and power and following, with a very successful protocol to deliver numbers and add utility and everything. How do we make this a reality? I worry that the time it takes to work on this deal exceeds the buffer we have to prudently turn off features in time to make sure we have adequate runway for the chain. So because of that, even though things are going very well, it's now been, 3 weeks since Retro 9000 was announced that we weren't going to get our portion that we were going to use to help continue to keep the lights on while we work on the next step. Because of that delay and the likely ongoing delays and the uncertainty of a deal being final, we have to make some decisions. And those decisions have been made, and we're going to be communicating that today. We hope that you can support us in this. We had prepared for this. We are not doing other studios' approach of, it didn't work, or we're not getting paid what we want, this and that, let's just give up. We don't give up unless we have to. And in my opinion, we don't have to. So let's turn off some features. Let's extend the life of the chain. Let's see what's happening with this deal. Be patient with us. You've been with us for so long. We still believe that we can find the right deal, the right, relaunch, consolidation, that makes it easier to onboard, cheaper to operate, better experience for you guys. And it gives us a unique opportunity to, reformat is the right word. A lot of the inefficiencies that have developed over building brick by brick. There's a lot of things that we could do, not all of them, but there are some things that we could do to really make the game a bit more sleek for the users as well. So with that, I think, Bolon, I'm going to hand it over to Hubert to talk about what that next phase entails, and then anything you want to add, and I can chime back in as well. Or if we have live questions in the chat, please drop those in and we'll do our best to answer them today.
Alrighty. So, we're, kind of to break down like what our major costs are. We're going from, we've been spinning down some of our validators to reduce costs there, which that did, I think, cut that cost at about half of what we were paying before. So now the other two major costs for us are maintaining our API and our combat engine. Like those two things together kind of are, at this point, I think, I don't know what the percentage is, but it's more than 50%. I think it's closer to even 75%. I'm not sure, but it still is a pretty large chunk of what our costs are. So that's kind of what we're targeting now as what we need to kind of turn down until we can, make these next steps. So what we're looking at doing is essentially, with the API turning off, Anything that involves updating the heroes is going to be something that, we're not going to be tracking anymore. Like XP gain, changing of equipment, anything with the NFTs, equipment themselves and pets. Like none of that would be tracked, which would mean like if we were to turn it off and then turn it back on later, it would kind of create a pretty big mess if we left all the contracts open for people to do things. So we're looking at pausing essentially anything that would update your heroes. That includes, making new heroes, summoning, meditations, the auction house, houses for them, feeding pets, and then also, with combat content as well, basically turning off the combat engine for the time being. So hunts and patrols and tournaments, and like the free trial versions of patrols and the little tester as well. Like all of those things would be no longer playable. So we're looking at pausing the starting of tournaments, starting of PvP, starting of hunts, and then we'll give it like a 6-hour window before pausing the completion of that. So like after that point, if you have something that's you've started, your only option would be to just cancel it and not get any rewards if you don't finish it within that 6-hour window. And kind of to help, that kind of creates a lot of question marks about like what is, what to do during that time. So, or like if you have heroes that are pledged right now in the Coliseum, what about those? And we're going to be removing the early withdrawal fee from those, so you can break pledges without paying a fee. I will note though that we also are planning to pause our NFT bridges as well. So if you do want to move them to a different chain, you'll want to do so before it gets paused. And let's see, sorry, we'll also be pausing like the raffle systems that are still active as well, just because if we don't, those will kind of get to a point where it will be like nobody has any tickets, or maybe one person has a little bit and they just like trickle in and win everything. So pretty much all the game features will be paused in some way. There will be a few contract interactions that I don't think we're going to touch. Like if you wanted to go to the alchemist and make potions, I don't think we're actually pausing that. And like the decks will still be active. But there won't be any more without any fees being collected from summoning or anything else. There won't be any more new rewards going into like the liquidity pools or anything besides, I guess, just fees collected from people using the decks. So it will be kind of a pretty hard pause on everything once that starts. And we are looking to do that fairly soon as well. I believe our target is on Saturday this week. Let me go double check the time on that.
I believe we're doing 1800 UTC pause and then 0000 UTC Sunday for or the 1800 for starts and then 0000 for stops for completes.
So yeah, I guess 6 p.m. Eastern time is when that's going to happen on Saturday. And then 6 hours after that will be when like completing will be paused as well. So if there are any tournaments that are going to happen after that 6-hour window, or even close, like within an hour of that 6-hour window, I would recommend that you don't enter those. We do plan to go in and cancel any tournaments that were created after that point, just so that it doesn't cause any confusion. But people would still be like, if there's one that starts 3 hours before that the final complete side is done, you could potentially join it before the like joining is paused, and still be able to play it. But I haven't looked to see like how things are lining up on the timing there.
I'm
But
sorry, you said it's Eastern time, not UTC.
Eastern time.
Okay. Which I will also put all of this in a Discord announcement as well.
Yeah. And then yeah, so I mean, after that point, you know, once we shut off the API, like if a hero gets transferred to a different wallet, our API is not going to notice that. So our front end, you know, things on our front end might get a little bit weird looking. Like your wallets will still have all your assets. And, you know, once we turn the API back on again, I'm sure there will be some people that will have done some things that will require us to do some sort of repair and regeneration on some of the heroes to like get their data up to date. But generally, we just don't want to leave things so open that as soon as we turn things back on, it's kind of a giant mess. And as far as like our API being very out of sync with on-chain data, because that can become like a pretty big nightmare to fix, depending on like how long it takes for us to get there and, you know, how much was done. So we're just doing our best to try to avoid those sort of issues. But I guess heads up for you guys, like if you do have any plans to like want to be able to move things around, like you won't be able to equip or unequip things after we pause things. So like if you want to be able to move equipment specifically, exclusively, without it being attached to the hero that's moving, you'll want to unequip all your equipment before that pausing happens. So just a note there. And yeah, I'm not sure if I missed anything. I think that's generally covers everything, I think. Oh, also the jeweler, we'll also, like we did in Sarandale, we'll be removing the early withdrawal fee on the jeweler as well. So you could do that as well.
Yeah, so there's a couple questions. Is there a timeline on when things will be turned back on? Now, if we had a timeline on when we're turning back on, it would either be in our messaging or just like, I don't think we would have to do this. What we're trying to do, I think there's a comment as well, like, well, what's the point of a chain running if you can't do anything on it? It's a fair comment. It's one of the limitations of blockchain. There's a lot of things that blockchain does that enhance industries like gaming. And there are certain things about it that are drawbacks. Things cost money. We have limited amount of money. The consequence of not being able to play is less than the consequence of not being able to get non-DFK assets off DFK chain if you choose to want to do that. So top priority, since under the DFK umbrella currently, is running a chain that's holding real assets for people that carry value. We have to protect the integrity of the chain. And with the money that we have and the cost of all the things associated with that, in order to keep priority number one, we need to make sacrifices on the others, unfortunately. What could change that? Different money came in. Let's say that there was some other opportunity that came up, or an offer from a benefactor to come in and be like, hey, look, I'll cover the cost for the next 3 months or something. All these things are very unlikely. What's most likely to happen is this news, which the Avalanche teams are now made aware of as well. And they were kind of like, oh, and I'm like, you guys are taking a long time. We have to do this. You know, it's been 3 weeks since retro. You know, they're not happy about you all having to experience this as well. So it's probably going to help things speed up in terms of like what the next steps are. When will it turn back on? Is it after consolidation is done? As of right now, with all known information, yeah, probably not until consolidation is done. However, when the deal is done, the deal could look in a number of different ways. We're really trying to think about you guys and the protocol in the game. Maybe part of that will be, okay, since this is going to be X amount of time, here's something additional to cover some costs to allow people to continue to play to bridge the gap. I don't know if that will be in there, but I'm going to fight for that. If we don't get that, then yeah, the outcome would be probably not till after at least a phase 1 of consolidation is completed. But we're not in the position to speak to that. The only thing we can speak to is what we know. We know the costs. We know our priorities. We know what we have to do to keep priority one, and we're doing that. What comes next is up to many other factors. You just can know and trust that we're doing our best to get the best outcome for the game, the future of the game, the silliness in the industry that comes and goes, and kind of, looking around more corners going forward. So although none of us are happy about having to turn things off, I hope at least deep down you understand the logic and the intent, because the alternative is to follow what many others have done, which seemingly they don't care and they're just like, let's give up, shut it down, and move on to the next thing. We don't want to do that. We want to learn from the past, take this opportunity to optimize code, make it a better shot at onboarding and getting new users there, maybe some ongoing support as well, and relieve a huge amount of cost that's been a burden in ways that have made it hard to consider growth in the last couple of months, especially. So with that, if it doesn't feel good and you let it marinate, I hope thinking longer term, you'll see where we're coming from and it'll at least feel okay. Because it's the best that I feel like we can do with what we have in the environment we have, the partners we have, and what's going on in the industry.
And
did we miss any other comments? Yeah, go ahead, Paul.
Just to the point in chat about the bridge being down right now. Yeah, it's super unfortunate timing, but it also highlights why it is so important for us to conserve funds in order to keep the chain running as long as we possibly can, so that people have time to get their assets. And that would be true even if the bridge updates weren't happening right now, but it does kind of emphasize that. So yeah, just, it sucks. Like, nobody's going to pretend it doesn't. It sucks for us too. We don't like it either. But, our first and foremost goal is protecting y'all's assets. Our second goal is surviving and continuing the legacy of DFK. And, we've all been committed to this project for almost 5 years. We've all put in a lot of sacrifices, including you guys as well. This is not just the team. This is you guys also. Sacrificed a lot to get to where we are today. And, we have every intention of trying to find the solution to keep it going for another 5 years. But right now, we have to survive and we have to protect you guys' assets. And that means that we need to reduce every cost that we possibly can to make sure that the chain stays safe, that you guys' assets stay safe, because that's the main thing. We've been through a lot of shit. When the chain who shall not be named, their bridge got hacked, we were called ruggers. We didn't have anything to do with that. When the Orbit bridge on Klaytn got hacked, round 2. But as long as we can keep protecting you guys' assets, that is, what we are going to prioritize, so that you all have the opportunity to claim your assets, move them to other chains, do whatever you want with them. But it's not just, we turned off the chain today, guys, so now all of your stuff is gone. We aren't going to do that. We aren't going to let that happen. So, whatever comes of this, we're doing everything we can to make sure that things keep going and to give you guys time to claim any assets that you do have. Dreamer, you're muted.
Any questions in the chat that I might have missed? In-game assets, can they be swapped and traded still? Is a question.
The DEX is gonna stay on. Hubert, I don't know about the vendor.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna be turning off the vendor either. But maybe we should. At least buying, maybe selling, we can leave that going. But because I think that's gonna be kind of weird. So. Yeah, so you could use the DEX for any of your in-game assets.
The NFT marketplaces will be paused, though.
Those will be paused. I'm aware there are third-party marketplaces out there. So those are not under our control. So we won't be. Those will likely still be active. Just note that in the when the API comes back on, if you have any heroes that were transferred to other wallets while it was turned off, it may show up in our interfaces like a different person owning it. different wallet owning it until we can get that updated in the API. So our hope is just to try to avoid as much of that as possible, just to avoid the confusion that can cause, and just like fixing it. But it's still your NFTs will still be transferable. So if you want to do that, you do have that option.
And then will there be an AMA next week? I don't know our plans of AMAs directly, but I want to be very transparent with how this progresses. So it's Thursday. I think before Saturday, I'm getting another update. And then things will progress from there. I've seen with Avalanche, I've seen things go really quickly, and I've seen easy things that are agreed upon, but operationally take, months to execute. So I really don't know the timeline here. My guess, Bolon, would be AMAs would be a bit more.
They're going to be flexible
as needed. Like as we have updates, we're like, hey, we have an update. We want to, like more like a town hall or whatever. Submitting ongoing questions. I don't know if I'm sure you can still submit them and we'll answer them when we have it. But like a lot of game related things, it's really hard to answer those at this time because we're focused on others. But if you have questions on like, let's say
Hubert's going to be out for 3 weeks anyway.
and Hubert is going to be traveling. But if there are questions around consolidation, I would hold them for when we have the next update, because let's say hypothetically it just doesn't materialize with Avalanche C chain. We have so many other options. I don't know of the probability of conversion of those options, but I'm going to try my freaking hardest. And so like if we get a bunch of questions on this Avalanche specific opportunity and that doesn't end up materializing, we're going to be spending a lot of time answering questions on things that or trying to speculate on answers to questions on things. So I imagine AMAs are going to become less frequent during this time as well. However, we still want to be fully transparent, so it doesn't mean we won't have them. But Bolon, I might be stealing your thunder.
No, you're good.
AMA plan.
Yeah, so it's going to be, to Dreamer's point, more as needed. So we want to be transparent. We want to keep updates flowing to you guys. But if next Thursday rolls around and we don't have an update yet, there's really no reason for us to all gather here to tell you that we don't have an update, right? So stay tuned. We're gonna be progressing this as quick as we can. To Dreamer's point, if this doesn't shake out, we're going to be progressing the next thing as quick as we can. So we're going to be as transparent as we can with you guys. We're going to keep you guys up to date. But for right now, we aren't going to necessarily do weekly at the same time AMA. Also, Hubert won't be here, so what would we possibly talk about for an hour? But just stay tuned. I'll keep you guys updated through Discord. If we're going to have like a town hall, if we have an update to share and we want to do it live, we'll make sure that people have notice, that they know that it's happening. So just keep an eye on Discord. I'll still be there. I'm sure Winston will still be there. Community wise, you guys have always been amazing. You guys have always been strong. Nothing's changing there. We're still going to be, the same community that we have been. And we're going to work towards these next steps. But yes, as far as AMAs go, for right now, just keep an eye out. We'll keep you guys updated. Maybe it's not the same day and time because we have an update to share. We're going to figure that out as we go so that we make sure to capitalize on everything we can. As far as best direction for preparing for this, unequip and remove from market, stay in wallet, ultimately kind of up to you, to be perfectly honest. You can leave them equipped if you want, or you can unequip them. Like the reality is, if we get things turned back on, it's going to account for all of that. So it's not a huge deal. Like if your heroes are equipped, it's not going to be a problem. That said, if you anticipate wanting them unequipped, yes, please unequip them, because you won't be able to after Saturday. So if you specifically want them unequipped, make sure you do. But if you don't care, it's not going to hurt anything if they stay equipped. But yeah, we'll be keeping things moving as quick as we can and keeping updates coming. Metis chain is not shutting down, but we are turning off our PvP on Metis.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you saw that, so I was hopping back in. Yeah, thanks.
No worries. Well, here, real quick, let's see if we can get through a couple of questions because a few of them have to do with this kind of topic. Anyway, Dreamer, you already talked a little bit about this one, but if you have anything you want to add, if consolidation were to happen, will there be a strong marketing push to go along with it?
Yeah, that's part of the I guess requirements on our side to consider this because yeah, and people are saying like, oh, bearish is the vibe right now and everything. Yeah, I mean, look at the market we're in, guys. Let's open our eyes. Avalanche Gaming doesn't have a channel anymore. All the other game studios outside of Axie, which has been doing other things, are shut down. No AAA announcements. It is a bearish scenario. It's been bearish for the last 4 years with some bullish points here and there that silly K-Will has ruined, in my opinion. But for the true hardcore blockchain gamers, it's been a bearish industry. What have we done in that bearishness? We've survived and grown from there. We know how to do that. We just don't control all of the inputs there. So although it might feel bearish, I feel like doing everything I can has protected a lot of the players from realizing the bearishness of the industry in the world. But we can only do so much. And now we have to adjust and try other things that do feel bad right now. But it doesn't mean that it won't be good in the future. It doesn't mean that we won't reconsolidate. It doesn't mean that it won't be better. And now when it comes to this question, it doesn't mean that marketing might finally be something that makes sense to Avalanche. So many times, people said, oh, it's really cool that you have your own chain and subnets are cool and look what the technology can do. But should we do it? And does it help Avalanche's whole KPI? I feel like it never really did. But if we're on their chain and we're the top 3 contributor to transactions and or gas, if we have over 1 million NFTs move over and launch 200 to 300 smart contracts and add all this utility that just isn't there on C-Chain, and C-Chain has a massive marketing war chest, there's a lot of aligned incentives there. They've also done a lot with their playful battle pass, and in this market they don't have a lot of good examples to even encourage other games to come to C-Chain. DFK is the best example too, but we're mainly on DFK Chain. So this also sets us up to have probably a lot more effective marketing, at least from by design and by KPIs and everything. So part of this deal, it isn't just monetary. It is, how are we going to work together going forward? What are some things that are on chain that we can benefit and receive benefit from? Another thing is like a DEX. Would we be relaunching our own DEX and competing with everybody else there? Probably not. Probably going to figure out ways to work with them. What does that mean? They're probably going to co-market with us if we're working with them in some way. So from this question's on marketing. Would a consolidation come with revitalized marketing? Probably not like a huge revitalized massive marketing budget, but definitely a realignment with many that have marketing reach and many sitting in the wings waiting for something to come to the chain. If this announcement was there and it was going to add value to their bag, now marketing incentives are aligned much better than they ever have been in the history of DFK with anybody that has marketing impact and power. So I'm going to pause and read the questions there. But Bolan, did that answer the marketing push part of it?
I believe it did. Yes, sir. Thank you. While you catch up on those, I'm going to touch on another one that's also kind of marketing related, but the idea of when we launch Ragnarok, also launching, for example, new Gen Zeros alongside it, so that the release feels bigger and more exciting. This actually also relates to another question, but in terms of that, I guess the short answer is who knows? We'll see. We're not necessarily a rush to launch more Gen Zeros, and there's a lot of work that goes into launching those Gen Zeros. In terms of Ragnarok specifically, and making it a bigger event, part of the hope and goal for Ragnarok is to treat it as a semi-standalone product that is part of the DeFi Kingdoms umbrella. So we want to make sure that we capitalize on that and, promote Ragnarok on its own also. So it's not just, hey, DeFi Kingdoms launched a new feature. It's, hey, there's a new game to play. Oh, that game also happens to be part of DeFi Kingdoms. Once you get hooked on that game, you should come over here and play more and get more in depth into the ecosystem. So we want to make sure that we capitalize on both sides of that, and utilize Ragnarok as an opportunity to market in a way that we haven't been able to market in a long time, and also potentially maybe get around some of those that have a bad feeling towards DeFi Kingdoms by putting Ragnarok in front of them as its own thing, and then them realizing what DeFi Kingdoms has become. So there's a few aims there. Let's see. I'm going to take just a minute and try to knock out just a couple more questions, since we probably will have a little bit longer break before our next AMA. Let's see. There was one I'm looking for here. So there's a question of feeling frustration when hearing the team clearly identify problems, discuss possible solutions, but then seeing not necessarily seeing the action to address them. The example given was onboarding. That onboarding is difficult and can be painful, and so why would we focus on something like Ragnarok instead? There's a couple of answers to this question. The first one is we can only work on so much at a given time, right? So we have to choose our priorities. We may identify an issue. We may even be able to identify solutions for that issue. That doesn't necessarily mean that they are easily implemented solutions. So that's always a factor. The other factor too, in terms of onboarding, like one of our big, desires for onboarding was patrols. When we announced patrols, launched patrols, we got a lot of pushback from our existing players about the fact that we chose to do beginner content over hunts or something else, more hunts or something else. So we also have to balance, what each feature kind of offers to different people. And then, we made a big push with patrols, especially with YGG. And we got a lot of feedback that it was still just too complicated to get into. And so Ragnarok is actually a huge part of an onboarding effort. It's removing as many barriers as we can to start playing, to get people to see what's offered so that they are more willing to undertake those steps. Can we also simplify those steps? Hopefully. And yes, that is also an aim. But if we get people into Ragnarok with no assets required, they just join and get to play, they learn the combat system, they see how much they like it, they're a lot more willing to follow those steps to then come play hunts, to come play PvP, to come do, whatever the case may be. So it's not a matter of not addressing it. It's just finding creative solutions to address it, because sometimes we've done things to try to address a problem and it didn't really fix the problem. And so we're always looking for that next creative idea and way to, fix a problem. All right, let's see. I believe those were all of the pressing questions. There's a couple other things about game, but to Dreamer's point, it's hard to speculate too much on that right now, so we will hold on to those. As I said, next AMA, it could be next Thursday, but as of now, I would say don't plan on it and let us give you heads up and notify. But we will keep you guys up to date. We want to share information as much as we can. So, just know if we haven't said anything, it's because we haven't learned anything yet. But we are working on this as much as we can. Shout out to Dreamer. He's been putting a ton of effort into this, as have others. So just, hold tight. We're working on it, and we'll keep you guys as updated as we can. I will say, as always, I do appreciate all of you being here. Appreciate you guys putting in questions for us to answer. I know that this has been rough. I know that this isn't the news that you guys want. It's not the news we want either, and we're working on getting better news. So thank you guys for being a part of this and being with us for 4.5 years at this point. And just being a part of the journey. We don't give up, as Dreamer said. And so we've run into roadblocks before. We're running into another one right now, and we're looking for the solutions for it. So we really appreciate you guys being a part of this and being here with us. We hope that you guys understand what we're going for, and that we're doing everything that we can and putting all of the effort that we possibly can into this next step, and to continue seeing DFK be a part of this ecosystem we don't give up. And so we're looking for the way to keep moving forward. And as of now, we've got a couple of strings, and so we're a couple of bites on the line. So we're reeling them in and seeing what we come up with. But by no means have we given up. Hubert, any final thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I wish we did have better news for you guys. I'm hopeful based on what Dreamer said. It sounds like, we've been working with Avalanche a lot, and there's a lot that we want to do with moving over there. That took a little bit of explaining. It sounds like that message has been delivered, so I'm pretty excited to hear that. It's a lot to deal with, unfortunately. I really have been doing my best over here to try to find ways to like simplify things and make things better, and with Ragnarok as well, trying to push that forward. And just would really like to see us get to the next phase of DFK and have a nice new step forward. With tournaments and going on to Metis, we did have a really good deal there. We were able to develop our PvP system, and it's taken, I think this off season, actually, we've seen so much engagement with it. It's been, props to Winston for creating like extra game modes of his own design and whatnot along the way. And seeing everyone engage with that, that's been very cool. And I think we have a really good product. We just have unfortunately not had the best market to work with, and I think a consolidation really does have a lot of really good potential benefits for us. So I'm hopeful for the future, and moving this into like a new phase that will hopefully simplify a lot of things and reduce a lot of costs for not just us but also players, and just kind of simplify the whole gameplay experience as well. But it's still, we're in this kind of transitory is that transitory? I can English phase where it's going to be a little bit hard for a bit. So I would say we are looking to be doing some sort of migration though. So like if you do have Bitcoin or USDC and other things like that, like with us turning off most of the game features and there not being new rewards coming, take that into consideration when it comes to bridging things. It's things are probably going to change pretty drastically with a consolidation. So just take that all into consideration. No financial advice.
Hang on, I got a banner for that. There we go. We're good. Winston. Oh, I should have put this one up while Dreamer was talking. I forgot all about it. Dang. Winston, any final thoughts that you'd like to share for today?
Yeah, nice fuck up there, Bolon. I think you financially bound all of us with your with your carelessness.
I know. I didn't have the banner. We're screwed.
Yeah. I mean, it was there for a minute.
The banner absolves us of all sins.
Yeah, it's like when you go to the doctor and sign the waiver and then they just like kind of kill you on accident. It's like, there it is. Don't ape into broken mechanics. My thoughts are pretty in line with everything we've been saying. I've been really grateful that people have stuck around and played with us. And I get that it's been a journey, and we've been on this journey with you guys. And so I don't know. I was trying to decide if I should say this or not, but I saw this really funny meme where this guy is like, hey man, if you think the crypto market is hard and that you want to quit, like you should, you fucking pussy, because we're just not ever gonna quit. We're gonna try to keep building this, and we're just gonna keep going. So little pause right now while we consolidate some things and figure out what the next step is.
And then he's gone.
All right. Well, I think I'll go last. I don't remember what the old song was. It's not Barbie Girl. It's something. But I'm a blank person in a blank world. Guys, I'm a very bullish dreamer in a very bearish industry. And I've been this way for a long time. And maybe sometimes you haven't seen it because, You know, when Harmony happened, we didn't know that we'd get a migration or a deal to help us, you know, get to feature parity on Avalanche. We didn't know we'd get a migration deal to Klaytn. We didn't know that they would then do all the things they did and we would get a PvP through Metis. We don't know what's next, but we do know that there is no loss realized until we realize it. If we want to be bullish, it's our decision. They say happiness is a choice, bullishness is a choice. And as a community, as builders, this has not been easy. And we've accomplished more than likely anybody in the space, especially in the blockchain gaming space, Axie included. And I'm proud of that. I hope that you guys are proud of that too. This isn't a good day, but it is showing maturity in our decisions and next steps. Yes, none of this is financial advice. Yes, we are doing our best. And yes, it impacts everybody that loves this game, but we're trying our best. And I am bullish. I am bullish in those efforts. If I wasn't, the efforts would be pointless. When you're sitting there in the back of a plane and you're like, this pilot's flying this plane really poorly. I hope he crashes. You're on the plane. Cheer on that pilot. Do what we can to help the effort, even if it's during a great pausing. And I hope that we come back better. I hope that we don't just poke the fact that we're paused, even though none of us want to be. So it's up to you. It's up to all of us to how we come together as a community. During the darkness, during the pausing, we will be trying our best. We don't control all the outcomes. And I do feel bad about that. If I had all the power in the world, this thing would be marketed well. We'd have a full-blown team running around the clock, and we would be getting new features and updates and optimization constantly. That's what I wanted initially. That's what I thought was possible initially. But the industry and a lot of the people within it have made it so freaking hard. And it's not going to get easier, but it doesn't mean that we are going to stop trying. Because of that, I hope that you can be bullish. I can't promise you when things will come back, if they will, where they will, or anything else. But I can promise you that who I am is somebody that tries to follow through if at all possible. If that doesn't make you bullish and a token going up or people lying to others or hype or really trash gameplay on chains for a week makes you bullish, we're just different people. I'm a bullish streamer in a bearish world. What are you? That's up to you to make that decision. I hope Avalanche makes the right decision. I hope we get to launch on C Chain. I hope all the AVAX holders see that DFK is the largest single catalyst to build that chain up from what it is right now, especially the one in the next year. I hope that as people see that, they'll come back and see that, wow, DFK wasn't just a flash in the pan 5 years ago. Look at what they've done in the dark time. Look at what they're doing on Avalanche, and look at the new consolidation deal that looks after everybody else. This is potentially an equation for a very positive version of success. It's not a clean or pretty one, but it can't happen if we don't remain bullish, if we don't remain positive, if we don't lift the weight instead of push it down for others. So thank you for playing. Thank you for understanding. Thank you for the patience. Thank you for the questions. And I'm sorry that the industry isn't different. I'm sorry that the outcomes aren't different, but it doesn't mean that I'm not this word because of our team, because of you guys, and this beautiful game that we have today. I want the game to live on. I'm only one person. We're only one team, but I hope that you can remain bullish on the people behind this at the very least, even though what we said today, I'm not going to sit here and be like, all right, we're turning off features to save money, to keep the chain on, hoping we can find a place to land on and keep going. That isn't a bullish message, but it is a bullish mindset. So with that, if you could join me, bullish! We will update you guys soon.
Thanks, guys.